Just moments after blowing up a meeting with Democratic leaders on infrastructure, President Trump marching into the Rose Garden, dramatically declaring he can no longer work with them.
I told Senator Schumer, Speaker Pelosi, I want to do infrastructure, but you know what? You can't do it under these circumstances. So get these phony investigations over with.
That surprise move sparked, the president says, by an earlier meeting of Democrats this morning to discuss impeaching him, and this shot from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
We believe that the president of the United States is engaged in a cover-up.
I walk in to look at people that had just said that I was doing a cover-up. I don't do cover-ups. There was no collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign. That's it. But they want to make this a big deal. Whether or not they carry the big I word out, I can't imagine that, but they probably would.
Two Democratic sources with knowledge of the White House meeting tell NBC News the president accused Pelosi of saying horrible things before Mr. Trump walked out after just 3 minutes.
He just took a pass, and it just makes me wonder why he did that. In any event, I pray for the President of the United States, and I pray for the United States of America.
But tonight, Pelosi is also under growing pressure from her own party to greenlight impeachment, which she has resisted. NBC's Casey Hunt today with one of the Democrats calling for it, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Were you satisfied with what leadership had to say?
You know, I think I was satisfied with the openness of the conversation and the discourse that we're having as a caucus.
The bitter back and forth between the president and Pelosi escalating throughout the day.
This president is obstructing justice, and he's engaged in a cover-up. And that could be an impeachable offense.
I respect the courts. I respect Congress. I respect right here where we're standing. But what they've done is abuse.
Kristen joins us now. And Kristen, as you know, this is not a small matter. If the president is refusing to work with Democrats, where do they go from here?
Well, Lester, and it's not just infrastructure. There are a lot of critical agenda items like the budget that require bipartisanship. A senior administration official signaling there may be some room for must-do deals.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.